to be working on Stardew because I think that Stardew deserves something. Because it has a lot of lore, and personally, I would love to do a mystery series around, the different things that happen in it. There's a lot of, it has enough material and enough, like, mysteries to go and do a mystery series. So I wanted to do something like that for Stardew, considering I'm going to be playing Stardew for a while. I'm going to be continuing to play the game, so I figured why not do one for Stardew as well. That one would be more of a mystery series, but we're gonna work on it, obviously. I have another one that I wanted to do because this one does not have a anime attached to it. Is 3 Months of Happiness. It's dark, but like tongue in cheek. It's all about a guy who decides he's like, okay, I'm poor. I can't afford anything. Oh, what's my favorite anime? It's right now it's a toss up between Apothecary Diaries and Blue Exorcist. I love those two. They will forever be my favorites until someone beats it out. The manga, it's really good, and it's about a guy that sells 30 years of his lifespan, and he only has 3 months left of his life, so he can have enough money to live off of. And so it's all about like the questioning quality of life versus like living a long life. And I thought that was a really cool theme, and considering it's in line with what I'm already writing with DeathNote, I was like, that felt so right. And plus, it's kind of enemies to lovers, which I love that trope so much. I love enemies to lovers. If you can figure out by Apothecary Diaries being one of my favorites, it's absolutely my favorite. I love the mystery. I don't know why, but I'm someone that loves mystery series. As you can tell by me loving Death Note and me loving Blue Exorcist and me loving, Apothecary Diaries. Oh, thank you for saying that, Dark. Like, I do agree, they are nice picks. They're amazing. Um, Especially, I would suggest Blue Exorcist gets better with the manga because the manga is so far ahead, and you don't have enough context if you're only going with the anime, because the manga, it kind of retroactively changes a lot of scenes. So you have to, with the manga, go and read this thing all the way to a certain scene, then go back to the beginning of when that scene happens, and then go and like to fully grasp the scene, because they're not giving you all the information, they're not giving all the characters all the information, and considering one of the characters is a time and space demon, he's gonna know more and understand more about the story than you do. And that's the whole point, is that the story is a lot grander than it appears on its surface. And that's why I fully respect Blue Exorcist. Same thing with Apothecary Diaries. That one I respected for, one, being a really good historical piece. Even though it's in a fantasy setting, it is a really good historical fiction. And I also respect it because it does the mystery genre very well. It Instead of doing like episodic mystery and then maybe like a season long like mystery, what it actually does is it has a whole show mystery, and the episodic mysteries bleed into what the season mystery is, and then the season mysteries also bleed into the overarching mystery of the entire show, which I absolutely love that structure, and I wish more shows did that. I wish more manga did it and more animes did it, because I think it's a wonderful structure for a mystery series. But yeah, so I absolutely love them. But so yeah, we're doing 3 Months of Happiness. I think that one's wonderful. And then obviously Stardew. And then because I've been writing this in the background. I've been hinting at writing an adaptation of Blue Exorcist forever. I absolutely love Blue Exorcist. Blue Exorcist is one of my favorite mangas, and I've been writing this in the background, like a adaptation for Blue Exorcist for the longest time. And I actually haven't like gotten around to writing. Like I wrote it like the first 2 episodes and a bit of a future like I mean like this is like season 5 episode, but I haven't like had the time because I've been so busy with the DeathNote streams. I had been busy with school that I just never got around to it. So I was like, you know what? This one's my passion project. I really love it. And it brings me joy. Oh my gosh, my phone. I let it go for 2 minutes. I let it go for 2 minutes, and it's like, yep, let's do this. Hey. But yeah, so basically, I've been doing this in the background, because I want to make an adaptation of Blue Exorcist, like, for my actual self. I actually know how to film it, and I know how to do it, how to make it, and, like, I know how to make it cheap as well. So I've been wanting to make this forever, and I've just, like, decided, you know what? I have to do the writing process anyways. Might as well have fun. And then you guys can see how much fun it is to write that story as I do. So, yeah, we're going to go and we will put this to a vote. You guys will get to choose which one we will be adapting for today. And we're going to be doing this every writing stream, so that way I'm surprised by which one we pick. Because, you know, it would be so fun for it to be a surprise every single time. I just get to not know what I'm going to be writing for the day. And I think it's a fun idea, and I want to do this. But yes, and then DeathNote, obviously we're going to continue that one. DeathNote, I've like been missing it. I've been coming up with ideas. I'm like, well, it's whenever I get back to writing streams, I can write that idea. And so I'm like, okay, it's time. It's time to come back, have fun. No phone, don't do it again. Phone. My phone is just like, why? Why phone? Why? This is what I get for not gluing it on right. So, I've been doing good. For those of you that are wondering about my finals, I passed them. I passed with high marks, so I will be good. I'm working on doing an internship. So I'm right now working to sign up to do an internship with a notable like TV studio. So I will tell you if that works out. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Audrey. But yeah, it's gonna be like so cool. Like, I am hoping it works out. I still have to get permission from the professor, so it's gonna be a little touch and go, but once I get the permission from the professor, I'm so excited. The only thing is, downside, I have to take 3 trains to get to this particular place, and an Uber, because this is located, like, so far out of my way. Like, it's in a whole different county for me. So it's, like, so far. And it's going to take me hours to get there. But it's well worth it. I'm willing to do the commute. And it'll just be fun, you know, going and working for a television studio, trying that out. You know, I almost had this opportunity, like, 2, 3, 4 years ago, something like that. My professors, they've been trying to get me a an internship opportunity early in my college program, because they really liked my work ethic and they really thought I had really good ideas. But the television studio, I will not name names, but what happened is that I I could I don't speak Spanish really well, but I can understand Spanish. So you could give me orders, and you could tell me things that you need to, tell me so I can get stuff done. In Spanish, I don't mind doing it. But in terms of speaking it, it's hard for me. I have a lot of problems with like speaking. Like, I grew up, like, when I was younger, I had selective mutism for a bit. So even speaking English is hard for me. But speaking like Spanish is even harder, because if I'm any bit amount of stressed, I cannot speak it. Like, no matter, even if I practice the conversation, if I'm any little bit of stress, I won't speak it. I have to feel very confident, very comfortable for me to speak Spanish. But listening, I can listen to it all day. I can listen to it. I watch videos in Spanish. And my mother, she speaks in Spanish once in a while, and I understand what she says. Yeah, it's the lack of trust in yourself. I don't have that trust, and also it's hard for me to trust someone where if I stumble, they're not going to look down upon me or pity me. I had that happen a lot of times, where someone would look at me and they would like dumb shit down for me, and I have to and I'm trying to explain to them that I can understand them very well. It's just I can't say it back. And they would just it's a sort of condescending, that it's a type of condescension that it's just like, you try to explain to these people, and they're some of them are actually trying to be kind. It's just they're doing it in the wrong way, and it just ends up being more of a deterrent for me to speak Spanish than anything else. And so when I did this job, when I got, they wanted to give me this job opportunity. They tried their best. They tried to explain, they're really good. They could do this. They're not great at Spanish, but they can listen. They're very good at giving ideas and listening to orders and doing stuff, because like in film and in television, we have like kind of a military structure. So you kind of have to listen to your superior like very intently. But that would have been fine, but they didn't want to listen to my professors. They were like, nope, we don't think that, she's not for the role. We don't think that she's perfect for it. And it was, demoralizing. I wanted to work there. I wanted to do it. It's not like it was a customer service job where, you would want the person to speak multiple languages, but unfortunately that just happened. And so, I don't have hard feelings. It's sad that, they kind of judged me before they met me. Oh, hi, welcome, Jack Plays. Welcome. By the way, it's what? ZG. Oh, ZG? Okay. You're just under a different icon today. Okay, that's different. But yeah, you saw you're able to throw stuff at me. Like, I coded it so you guys are able to throw stuff. You do have to use the commands that are on the Twitch page. So, like, command ducks, command cheese, command Junimos, command. I think Stardew is another one. Um, I have a bunch of them. You like your secrets? Okay, I got it. You Yeah, just type command ducks into the YouTube thing. I coded it. I had to use Streambot, but Streambot, you're able to customize the integrations, and so I've been working on getting it all set up, and I I know it's working because when you first talked, it I have it coded so the first word that you ever say, it will throw a paper airplane. So that's how I know it's working. So yes, you could put command ducks. I am planning on adding more now that you guys are able to do it. Comes to media, you're correct. When it comes to media jobs, it has structures and certain bots that can be bothersome. I do my work with no complaints. Yeah. For me, like, this works better. In a way, I'm kind of glad that I am going into a work environment. I'm possibly going into a work environment that might be a little more welcoming. So maybe it might work out in the long run that this was always meant to be this way. But yeah, I have to do it in the summer though, because I don't want to graduate late. I've already wasted so much time with my degree program. I want to leave. I want to leave so badly. I need to be released from college. And I've been in college way too long. I'm verging on my 8th year of college. I have to, like, go. This thing. It hates me. It hates me today. No, you don't fall over. I'm having issues with my phone. I'm fighting my inner demons. Yes. But yeah, chancletas. Now that I have programmed it this way, you guys, now this gives me the ability for both of you to have fun. So you guys, I can have like a war. I can have like team red and team purple, and just like start like creating like different things that are like color coded just to make it funny. To be like, oh, it's the YouTube side, or oh, it is the Twitch side. It's something funny like that. But it'll be funny, and I'm just glad that we're able to do this now. Oh, we can finally do the ducks. And I'm planning on adding a Jeffrey emote, like a Jeffrey throwable. If you had a tripod or a monopod for your phone. It's not that. It's the fact that, like, I had a MagSafe magnet, and what happened with the MagSafe magnet is that the glue detached. So the magnet stuck to the other magnet, and the glue fell. But yeah, I'm going to be adding a lot more commands, a lot more ways to go and do the commands. And it's just going to be fun. We're going to be adding a lot. And hopefully, everybody enjoys it and everybody loves it. It's just, I want everybody to have fun, personally. Like, I really love when people have fun. I just want you guys to enjoy yourselves. You're here for a reason. There will be a lot more for you guys to do, and I'm going to try to add more things that you guys can, not only stuff that you could throw, but ways you could affect the stream. Like, I'm working on possibly, like, you guys can, like, swap backgrounds. I'm working on getting, the one thing I also have to fix is that right now, YouTube can't mess with Shelly yet. I haven't figured out how to get Shelly to code Shelly to work with the code with StreamerBot. So until I can figure that out, that'll be great. But so to catch you up. I've celebrated my 1 year anniversary on YouTube, reached 70 subs, and started writing a story. Congratulations! That's really good, ZG. I'm proud of you. That's really good. You know, I like 70 subs is pretty decent. Like to this day, I still like when I go and I look at my subscribers, even when I get like 3, I still count it like when I was like just started and I got like my first 5. Like I still count it that way because even though those 3 in the grand scheme of things doesn't seem like a big amount now, considering I have almost 200, like to me it's still like a very big deal to me because that's 3 people that chose me over somebody else. You know, they chose to subscribe when there's everyone else they can go to. Also, have you guys seen what crazy shit's been going on in the VTubing space? I'm shocked. Like the fact that so many people are graduating. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, the amount of people who are like graduating out of their models." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on here?" Like did some social shift happen? Did something happen in the corporate VTubing world that I don't know? Yeah, a lot of VTubers quit their jobs. Like, a lot of them. They stopped VTubing. Like, for those of you who are confused, graduating as a VTuber means that you are no longer going to be that persona anymore. You are no longer be that avatar. You are either stopping VTubing to become a different VTuber, or you're stopping because you don't want to do it anymore. For some of them, it's because they are tired of the job and they just want normal lives. Or for some others, they just are just like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to be a corporate VTuber anymore. I want to go indie. I don't like the bureaucratic, system of it and all of this like overhead and everything. So there are some people that they do it because they want to leave corporate. There's some people that do it because they just can't be a VTuber anymore. And then there's some people that they graduate on bad terms and they get fired from being their VTuber. I think it's because of hate and unpopularity with VTubers and their models. For some of it, it is. But some of them, they graduate because they're something they did when they were as their model. And they get fired, technically, by their company. So, like, Beast Shoujo or and Ninjamin will, like, fire them. And they'll call it graduating when really they really mean terminating. And so for some of them it's termination, for some of them it's actually a happy graduation. Some of them know that, and there are people that work in corporate, they'll sometimes know what's going on, some of them won't. And it's hard, I can understand why they would stop. There are some of them that, VTubers get a lot of hate. They get a lot of hate, definitely. And I do agree with that. And there's some that they just are like, they start VTubing because it's something that they think that it fulfills them. They want to be a celebrity, but they don't want the stress that comes with being a celebrity. And that's totally understandable. But then what happens eventually is you're just like, okay, then you go through all of this and then it becomes too much for you and so you leave. That there another faceless YouTuber, I think it's Domix or something like that, or it's someone else, but he's a surgeon in his real life, and he actually stopped doing YouTube for a while because he got a lot of life stuff happened, and he's been like a surgeon for a while, and he's a lot of heavy stuff happens. and then you're just like, you're so absorbed in your own little life that you sometimes forget to press record, you know? For me, you saw what happened this week, what you know, I for me it was that, my family took up a lot of my time, but also I had finals. I had, a storm came in, like, did like 8 inches of rain in 30 minutes, which was a lot. That's like, it, oh, the literally, like, the amount of rain was like very high. I'm like, we were like moving cars, trying to save our cars. It was bad. But in all of that, like, I was like, it doesn't make sense to stream. So I could totally understand someone going and forgetting, to do that, and forgetting that life, and then eventually that life like fades out and peters out, and then you never come back. And maybe one day you might do a video explaining why you're not there anymore. I've also been like listening to a lot of music. So I've been like trying to like help my voice get to a healthier place. Strange things to happen in 2025 so far. Snow in Florida. Considering that, like, Florida doesn't quite, Florida is, like, one of those where it's, like, hot, but it's not a weird place to get cold. Like, in the South, we're, like, it gets hot, but, like, for example, like, no one expects Georgia to freeze. In Georgia, I went there, and, like, the whole street was, like, covered in ice, and I almost slipped and fell on my ass. It was so bad. Like, so it does get cold down south, and it's just weird. Linkin Park's new album, Deluxe tracks, are pretty good. I haven't listened to them. I've just been more focused. I've been like, okay, I've been really deep into like 21 Pilots. I've been going back through their back catalogs and doing that because I've been more trying to work on my voice to be a little more healthy. Because I'm someone that like I tend to overstrain my voice, and on top of that, I when I something I do as like a ritual before I do a stream is to prepare my voice for the long amount of time I'm going to be talking. I warm up my voice. So when I warm up my voice, that I will tend to sing songs or stuff like that, but I have to sing them in my range, obviously. And so I've been trying to work on getting to a more healthy placement within my voice, so that way I can do more voice acting a lot easier. Because when you go and do utilize different parts of your voice, it then creates a problem because then your throat starts hurting or the roof of your mouth starts hurting because you overuse it. So I've been trying to find ways to like you do voices, but like do them a little nicer. So I've been like trying to mimic, like I've been mimicking Sabrina Carpenter's voice for a while. Like I've been trying, so I've been mimicking her singing voice, to be specific, because I'm trying to figure out how to like be softer when I am, speaking a little higher, because I tend to go a little harsher with my voice and start screaming in high, and that's not good. That's never good to do to your voice. And on the lower end, I tend to be very, very, very quiet. And you could probably hear it whenever I do my streams, where, like, when I do the live stream, you'll hear my voice get super quiet when I do, like, lower voices. That's part of the reason why I had to start doing for the edited series. Whenever I do, like, any edited, like, game, playthrough, I tend to have to go through the edit and raise up the volume or lower the volume. To be frank, I say I live in Georgia, but I only disclose that because I'm well hidden and can disappear off the radar easily. Oh, wow. Hey, it happens, it, like, it's hard when you're someone that is on the internet because you don't want to reveal too much information. And I would love, I would love to talk about more stuff about my where where I live, because my where I live is so fucking weird. I live in a weird fucking place. Um like the shit that goes down. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like part of me wants to eventually do a video about my state, but I'm like, part of me is like, that's a bad idea in itself, because I have to be very confident that no one's gonna fucking find me. So it's like, okay, maybe not. And considering I have a lot of stalkers, it's like, it's not a good idea. So I have to be very careful, you know. I wish I could talk about, you know, where I live, because that would make a whole content series in itself of me reacting to all the shit that happens in my state, but I can't, unfortunately. But yeah, I've been, and then the other thing I've been working on is trying to teach myself animation. I'm eventually planning on getting a leap motion controller. Right now I am like low on cash, so I'm like, I can't exactly like afford to buy a leap motion controller, because for those of you who are confused, a leap motion controller allows me to have hands, because right now my hands, they don't move when I talk, and that's kind of annoying. I would like to have hands when I talk. I tend to talk with my hands, and it would be cool to have my hands, but unfortunately not in the cards right now. Working on it though. It would be nice. But yeah, so working on it, and eventually we will get there, and it'll be good. But it's taking its time, and yeah. But we're working on it, and we're just eventually I will have a whole setup. They don't move because I glued them to your side. We could say that's the lore for now. We could say it's the lore. But yeah, so we are going to be working on writing, and I'm trying to work on creating new series. It's hard when you're like, you don't have a lot of disposable income, so you're like, okay, I want to create this series, but I can't exactly create it because it's maybe a little too expensive to do. So I am planning on getting the disposable income to do said series. Like, I would love to hire an editor. I've been waiting for me to have enough money to hire an editor to where I could just have them like, here, take this 5-hour stream and fucking edit it down into 1 hour. That'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing if they could do that. But unfortunately, I can't do that right now. But because I just can't afford it. So I just have to edit everything by hand. The one good thing is I no longer, I don't have to update my model for the most part. The only thing I do is, like, once in a while, I'll change to the clothes, but I'm like, it's really a once in a while thing, because I'm trying to, like, spend more time on stuff that's more important. Another upgrade that I figured out how to connect Final Draft, finally, to OBS, because for the longest time, OBS doesn't like Final Draft. I don't know why OBS doesn't like Final Draft. It's so confusing. But for the longest time, whenever I would try to go and connect Final Draft to OBS through like a window capture or a game capture of anything like that, it would just black out the screen. And I was like, what is going on with Final Draft? And I didn't, and presuming that I have a Final Draft account that is like a license, so it doesn't update. And so something must have happened with OBS eventually where, like, something... Like, I don't know if they had beef, but the beef must have been squashed at some point where now I can, like, show Final Draft, which is pretty good. I'm excited about it. Just like Netflix, I don't know. To be honest, it confuses me more that it like kind of wanted to be not working. But yeah. So, what do you guys want out of the options presented? Which one do we want to do? Do we want to do Death Note? Do we want to do 3 Months of Happiness? Do we want to do Happy Wheels or Stardew? Or do we want to do Blue Exorcist? What do we want to do? Because we got to start writing. Stardew, we'll start working on it, and then that'll be something that'll be a cool addition. This is going to be a pain in the ass to film because of the fact that, you know, my phone refuses to stay on the rig. But we will see. Let's get on to this. Can I have a cameo in one of these adaptations? Problem is, I don't know what you look like. So, like, it'd be hard. Let's go into the beat board. Where's the beat board? Beat board. Where the hell are you? Let me find you. Here you go. There. This will remind you of a detective board. But yeah. So, their life has to be going terribly wrong. We know one thing. So, we're gonna go. We work at Jojo Mart. MC works for Joja. Works for Joja. Let me see. Is that visible? Yeah, it is. Okay. So we know one thing. Our MC works for Joja. Make it center around a hobo named Rick, who's an alcoholic. The thing is that we have to use canon. That's the thing. Because, like I've explained, it has to be canon to the main character. So, there has to be canon. Now, if there's head canons, I can accept that. But it has to go with the existing canon of the story. So, we know that the MC works for Joja because they start in an office. So I feel that it has to be like the grandfather has to die. That's another plot point that happens. The grandfather dies, which sparks you going and leaving. So Granddaddy dead. Granddaddy dead. Granddaddy dead. Okay. Granddaddy's dead. So that's another plot point that is established in the game. Plot point is established in the game. We are an Amazon adjacent worker, in a sense, because Joja is a like kind of metaphor for Amazon in a way. So we know the MC works for Joja. We know Granddaddy is dead. Dead as a doornail. So we know that we have to have an office plot point, and we have to have a plot point where we get the will. We get the will, or we get something. Another plot point that we have to establish is that maybe we lived in Pelican Town, right? Maybe we grew up in Pelican Town, like, when we were younger, but then, like, something happened, right? Something happened. We've been away from Pelican Town for very long. And that's why. Right? I feel that's right. Like, something had to happen. I feel like either MC lived with Grandpa or visited Grandpa on the farm. And so that's why the villagers kind of have like a vague memory and are like, they're like, oh, you're familiar, or they're like, chill. College makes sense too. College makes sense. You know, there has to be like a good reason for one, because we are too familiar with our grandfather. Like, our grandfather is like it's to the point our parents are not in the picture. So the parents may be dead. Like, at least the mom's in the picture, because the mom sends you shit. But the dad is not. So I'm gonna say daddy's dead or not in picture. Dad is dead or got the milk. Got the milk. Or got the milk. Dad is dead or got the milk. The dad either got the milk or died. So we don't know. We just know he's not in the picture when we start the game. We know the mom's around because she sends you letters on like how she's proud of you. But she doesn't say like, oh yeah, your dad's also proud or something like that. So I feel like the dad's not in the picture of some sort. So, yeah. Granddaddy's dead. Dad is dead. So, possibly lived at the farm, maybe, when the main character was younger. Possibly grew up the farm when they were younger, possibly, and then eventually grew up when they got a little older. Their mom got like a place or something like that. It feels like it's the maternal grandfather. Like the maternal grandfather, the mother grew up on the farm, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the farm she grew up on, right? That feels right. Possibly. What else? What else? What else? Hmm. I feel okay, what's another one that we can add? I feel that another thing that stood out to me when I played Stardew the first time. The mother's sick or old or MC has to help her. I feel that the mother, she knows, she talks with you. She not that she's there, she sends you letters. She sends you letters. So I feel that if she sends you letters, this has to take place maybe in the 90s, maybe in the 80s, possibly. Possibly because they have plasma screens. So like 80s, 90s, possibly. The mother sends you letters. I feel that maybe the mother, like, we could probably set up a conspiracy about the will. Wouldn't it be something if, like, the grandfather maybe didn't leave you, like, the plot of land? Or it didn't leave you the plot of land, but left it to their mother, and then or, like, left it to you, but with only because the mother asked him to write you into the will because you were having such a hard time. I feel like something has to be of sorts there. There has to be a sense of nostalgia for this farm, right? There has to be a sense of nostalgia because that's how it is in farming simulators. That's always the plot point. Steal the will from the mother. I thought you knew them better. But I feel like the mother probably asked the grandfather to, like, write you in the will to get the property, something like that. So I believe something of that happened. Newbie. We're gonna say, got property from granddad. Sus. Got farm from granddaddy. Sus. There. Let me move that. Okay. Got farm from granddaddy. It was sus. Grew up on farm. Grew up on the farm. Grew up on the farm. Okay, so we grew up on the farm, but we had to be young enough to where our main people, like our main love interests, don't remember us. Right? They don't. We're like the weird kid that never like left the farm. You know what I mean? Like, they can have like a vague memory of us, but like not really remember us. Because we gotta feel like an outsider. Funny how Plucky Squire didn't win an award last year. I do agree. It should have been Game of the Year, to be honest. I was pissed. Because I was like, how? When that game literally did similar things to Split Fiction. Like, and everybody was like, oh yeah, Game of the Year was Split Fiction. And then no one talked about Plucky Squire. And I was so like, how? Where's the dissonance? Plucky Squire was amazing. It honored old games. Like, you had moments where it was Nintendo. You had moments where it was like Final Fantasy. You had moments where it gave you like even Connor's Bad Fur Day feel and like different like eras of gaming. And yet it didn't get a single award and didn't get like a single mention. Like, it should have at least gotten mention of some sort. But unfortunately it didn't. I know. I'm like editing the playthrough. I'm like, it should have gotten an award. Like, I mentioned many times that it should have been Game of the Year. It should have. But I digress. Unfortunately. That's my beef with the Game Awards. But yeah, so we had to grow up on the farm, but we had to be too young. We have to be young enough that no one remembers us, but old enough to where we have fond memories of it. So maybe 9. Like 9. But we had to look very different now. Something had to happen where we look completely different. Right? I feel see. Another thing is that, like, what should be the canon pet? Shit, what should be the canon pet? And also, what's the canon race of the... What should be the canon race? Because, like, the... Should, like, the protagonist be female or male? I feel a lot of speedrunners use the female one because you can get money quick. Because if you're the male character, your mother sent you cookies. And if it's the female, she sent you money. So I don't know. And then for it, it should be, we have the choice of a dog or a cat. I'm not going to go into breed, per se. Female white. I do agree. I feel like female white works. Like, because how, in my image of, like, this character, she shows up to the farm in, like, a business suit, right? Because that's all she came, like, in, like, a business, like, attire. And it's so out of place. She gets mud on her, like, she gets mud on her suit. It's ruined, basically. I feel like, I feel like there has to be a scene where Robin, like, when Robin first shows up with, like, Mayor Lewis is, and, like, Robin, like, someone's driving the vehicle and they splash mud on us. I feel. And, like, our suit gets horribly dirty. And then we go and we're just, like, I want the suit to be like a metaphor for, like, how we feel so outsidery from this whole world, and we dress like we don't belong there. And a good way to do that is to, like, have her only bring casual business clothes, and there's not really much clothes. And that would then create scenes where you can have, like, oh, Emily. I think Emily is the one that, like, sews clothes. Like, have Emily go and, like, make you clothes, or, like, Haley takes you shopping. Like, at some point. Like, I feel something like that should happen. Where you eventually get appropriate clothes. That's the hope. Somebody will love this script. Like, when I make these scripts, it's with the idea that maybe I'll make them, maybe somebody else will buy it from me. Hopefully. But who knows? But yeah. But I feel female MC wears biz casual. Wears biz casual. Suit gets ruined. And over time. Ruined over time. Anyways, I'm going back to writing my story. Good luck, CG. But yeah. But yeah, I feel like the suit should get ruined over time. And then eventually it's just all of her clothes are tattered or ruined or stained or some shit's going on with it, with all of her clothes at some point, that there's no clean clothes anymore. Like, she can clean them as much as she wants, but they're so worn, and I feel like it has to, when she starts making the decision to dress differently, it has to be the decision where she's decided, I'm going to be part of this community, right? Like, I feel that she gets this farm initially, and she's like, I want to go and do this, but she still doesn't feel together with it, and she starts completing like the like she doesn't put like her whole effort into the farm. She farms stuff, but it's not, it goes terribly wrong. Like, stuff breaks, her, she feels like, oh my gosh, I'm watering forever. Stuff that you feel in Stardew. And you're just like, it's much easier to just buy stuff, you know. So she buys stuff from Joja, but she can't buy too much because she's poor, I feel. And what ends up eventually happening is that there's a point where she discovers the Junimos. She discovers the community center. The community center, she completes the pantry. And she gets a little bit of a sense of, I want to see where this goes. Right? And I think that that's the moment she gets rid of this. It's kind of like in her mind, she's always like, this is just like, I'm only fixing up the farm. Ooh, this is a good idea. She's only fixing up the farm so she could sell it. But she needs money to fix up the farm. And I feel that, like, that would give opportunities for Robin to be like, are you sure you're fixing this up, or are you gonna stay? I feel like you're gonna stay. Like, I feel like that would happen. Like, you need, like, a lot of money to fix up the farm to be, like, the best it could be. And I feel like that's the moment where she's kind of like, okay, I'm giving up on the idea of selling the farm. I feel like that would be the end of, like, either a mid-season finale or a season, right? I feel like that's the idea. So, wants to sell the farm. And we're creating all these beats. These beats, we're going to create a timeline to sell the farm. Wants to sell the farm. So it could take place in modern day, just that the area where Stardew takes place is so far away that you can't really get cell reception, right? That could be a point. Like, she's trying to, like, call people, and it's just, like, it's frustrating because she has to, like, go, like, very, very far, and she can't get reception, and it's a pain. Like, that could be a plot point of, like, the first episode. Like, she doesn't fit. The first episode is, like, she doesn't fit in. She's not she shouldn't be here. She doesn't belong. Right? And eventually she finds that she does belong. She just wasn't giving it her all. In a sense. Let me check what's going on these sides. Let me see. But yeah, so that's the idea. Oh, why is it still on this? Is it still on this? No, it's on the right one. I was just like, I was concerned for a moment. But yeah, let me see. I'm just checking on both the streams, seeing how everything's going. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, and I forgot to change this one. Let me change it. This. All right. So I feel that she's got to like feel a particular way where she's like she doesn't belong, she just wants to leave. She just is like I just want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. And something has to stop her. Feels something has to stop her from leaving. Wants to sell the farm. Suit gets ruined. Grew up on farm. Got farm from granddaddy. Sus. Female MC wears business casual. Dad is dead or got the milk. Granddaddy's dead. MC. Well, it makes sense if he got the milk. I feel like if he got the milk. I feel both of those work because you would still like I feel that like you would still lose it like maybe got the milk makes more sense because you would have to there would it would have to end so badly that your mother would have to stay with her parents. So dad got the milk. So the dad got the milk. So you grew up on the farm. Yeah, that works. Grew up on the farm, you work for Joja. What else? Feel like as an extra burn, boyfriend broke up with her. Boyfriend broke up. Broke up. Broke up. Or actually no. I feel like she got ghosted. Got ghosted. Got ghosted. That way, fans, welcome. Yeah, welcome. Both on the YouTube side and the Twitch side, they're able to throw stuff. So I'm glad. But yeah, we're doing a writing stream today. We're writing Stardew. That was what we chose today. To write a Stardew series. So funny enough. So yeah, we're writing a Stardew series. I'm trying to come up with like what is the backstory slash what's Junimo's? What's Junimos? Junimos are what the little creatures are called. That they walk around the community center. I call it so yeah. But basically, we're so I'm trying to come up with what's the backstory for the character in episode 1 that gives you like a that way I have a consensus of what I'm writing for the first episode. So we know that the main character works for Joja. Granddaddy's dead. Dad got the milk. We got the farm from Granddaddy, but it's sus. We grew up on the farm, but we were young enough that we have memories of being on the farm, but we're not old enough to where the other townspeople have a good enough memory of us. We are a female MC who wears business casual, but our wardrobe gets progressively ruined over like the season. We're only fixing they're only wanting to fix up the farm to go and sell the farm initially, I feel. And as an extra burn for the first episode, we recently got ghosted. I feel like that is like the backstory so far that I'm carving out. Stuff that feels right. I feel like we recently got ghosted. Hey Ken Bush, welcome! I'm doing good. We're doing a writing stream. We're writing Stardew. Update on Apothecary Diaries. I'm not all that far. Like, I'm on episode 6 since I'm watching like 7 at once. But so far, pretty good. It is good. It's gonna get real good. Like, once you get into the Apothecary Diaries brain rot, it will hit you. And then you will be stuck with all of us. And, like, I am just like, I love Apothecary Diaries. I am absolutely obsessed with Apothecary Diaries. And I am so excited to read the book, the next light novel in that comes out on the 30th. So trust me, you will have the brain rot of Apothecary Diaries, and it gets good and gets real good as like the series goes on. It gets so spicy. I'm like, I like even reading it, it was so spicy. I was like, oh, but yeah, but like I was saying, Ken Bush, we had a couple technical difficulties, but we are writing Stardew the series, because it was one of the things that was what we chose. Um, I decided to bring back the writing series because like I figured, it was time, and two, I wanted it to be funny. I thought I wanted it to be fun. So what I decided was like, oh yeah, let's make it a roulette. Let's go make it writer's roulette where every stream y'all choose whatever the hell I'm going to be writing. And then after once you guys choose that, then what happens is that we then go and we'll write that for the day and then try it out. And so the choices that I gave everybody was Stardew, DeathNote, 3 months of happiness, which is a one that doesn't have it's a manga, but it doesn't have an anime. What's another one? That I was doing Happy Wheels, Blue Exorcist, because I had been writing that one in the background, so I was like, why don't I just do it as a series at this point? It's my favorite. I enjoy it. What's the harm of like doing it as like a normal series? So I decided to do it, and yeah. So you guys get to choose what we get to write. And then I write that for the stream. and it keeps the spontaneity, it keeps it not from being boring. The only restriction that I have with the votes is you would not be, so that way we don't have any repeats back to back, that you the whatever we streamed in the previous writing stream will be taken out of the vote. So that's the only rule restriction that I have in terms of the vote. But other than that, it's a writer's room. I'm the head writer. You guys are co-writers. You guys get to give input, but at the end of the day, I have final say on whatever what the end result is, and what ideas I take, what ideas I don't take. So we're gonna be 2 votes now: the game vote and the right vote. Pretty much. I thought it was more fun to do it that way. That way it just keeps it like more fun. I'm not like, oh, I have to go back to DeathNote and do it again, and like it clears up a thing where we have so many projects that if, like, let's say I have no ideas on what we are going to, like, what if you guys choose something that we are writing and I have 0 ideas for the episode, or it's not coming to me, it's not working or something like that, we could always switch ideas. I would just edit out the part that where I had no ideas and I'm trying to pull shit out of my ass. Will the Jeffrey side plot make it to the story? We will see. Because it would be funny to add it. And there's no harm in adding it. For the series, like, we can have an homage to it. I feel we can do that. I feel that would be a cool decision, and it would create a Jeffrey side plot. We can do that, and we can have hints to it as like a running joke. And that'll become part of the canon of the story. Because it doesn't interfere with the established canon of Stardew. In fact, it improves upon it. And it doesn't, like, it just makes it funnier, to be honest, if, like, all the farm animals are out to get us and want to escape. And considering Joja is, like, is basically an homage for Amazon, and it would be funny if, like, in this universe, our duck is, like, we have a side plot of the duck being like, we're jokingly have named him after the CEO of Joja Mart. That would be the fucking hilarious. You know, it would be hilarious to have that happen as, like, a side plot, and then it's a hinted side plot. Like, there's nothing pointing to it actually existing, like, he's actually the CEO, but we're like, the whole audience is, like, secretly hoping, and then at the end we can, like, if we develop the supernatural plot line like how I expect it to, we can eventually in the future make it canon if we do play our cards right. So I think that's a good idea. I think we can add the Jeffrey side plot. Definitely. It doesn't interfere with anything and it makes it funnier. And we need comedy in this series. It's going to be a downer it's a mystery series. So we're doing I chose mystery because there's so many mysteries that you uncover in Stardew, even though it's a simulator game. So I feel like it would make sense as a mystery series. And so having Jeffrey be like a side mystery that no one knows about, and then like they're like everybody has like this folklore around it, and like then like it turns out to be true, would be funny as hell. You know, it would just be perfect, and I want it. I want to do that. So yeah. But yeah, so Scooby-Doo, but Stardew. Yes, but also I'm doing it more in the apothecary structure. The structure of Apothecary Diaries, where how Apothecary Diaries does right with the mystery genre is that you have episodic mysteries that happen every 2 episodes. Like there's one episode where it will just be a small mystery, but it's then there most of the plot is like character work. But I feel that then it then opens, then you do those smaller mysteries, and then what happens is that those smaller mysteries then turn out to be a lead into the bigger mystery of the season, and then the bigger mystery of the season leads into the bigger mystery of the show, if you know what I mean. So that's the idea, is that we're doing it in that structure of Apothecary Diaries, because I think that structure is phenomenal. It works, it does well, and it doesn't feel like a detective. It doesn't feel too detective-y. So that's the idea. So yes, kind of Scooby-Doo, but more Apothecary Diaries in structure. And Death Note does it a little bit, but doesn't do it phenomenally. But yeah, that's the idea. But yeah, so let me pull up Final Draft and that. But yeah, I'm so happy the YouTube side is able to throw stuff now. I'm glad I coded that into this. You guys are able to throw stuff, and it's just, oh, it's so good. I finally figured that out. But yeah, so we can do Jeffrey, Bud, um, Jeffrey Folklore, lore that turns out to be true, turns out to be true at the end. Yeah. Oh yeah, for the next game vote, I have a recommendation that could become more of a series of a stream. Is Hollow Knight, but warning about it, it's really frustrating and easy to get lost. Map if you, yeah. Considering Silksong is planning on coming out this year, and people, it's apparently not a hoax this time. Um, we, I've already had a couple people talk about it, so I wouldn't be against doing Hollow Knight. And I do agree, I do know it's going to be hard. I do know it's going to be a hard series. I'm probably going to have to add extra funny things so that way I'm laughing entirely and I'm not like just entirely frustrated, because I feel like I'm going to feel like how I felt during Sheepy, where it wasn't bad. I got through Sheepy, but I think I when I did Sheepy, a short adventure, I got frustrated. I got frustrated towards the end because I didn't understand. But yeah, the Nintendo disc game chat, the Nintendo Discord. I stuck I stuck at the second Hornet fight. You're stuck? Oh wow. Yeah, I know that it's gonna be a hard one, because I know that, like, with a game stream, it's even higher pressure because I have to get to the end. That's the idea. If I don't get to the end of a series, that's a fail of a game. Like, for example, I Saberless, like, that was a fail of a game because of the fact I didn't get to the end. I did not get get to the end, I rage quit that game. I rage quit Sabrielus, and that one's not even worth. Like, I'm not even gonna. I can't even upload. What makes that stream worse, Saberless worse, is that I went through all that effort and played that game. And the second stream, the audio is almost inaudible because my microphone kept cutting out every other time. And I was so frustrated. And not only was I frustrated about that, I was frustrated because the boss battle was so glitched out that I couldn't finish it. So hopefully when I play that, it will be fine. I'm hoping that it's fine. And I hope we, if and when I play it, everybody has fun and enjoys me playing it, because it will be fun. I do believe that in the end it'll be cool to do, because you know me, I like the lore. I'm a lore person, and it would be cool. But yeah. Hee hee. Yeah, let me check on the other streams. Twitch side is doing okay. Let me see how the YouTube side is. 3 people, not bad. 3 people. And then let me check on the side, because I'm streaming on 3 different ones. I'm streaming vertical and I'm streaming horizontal. For both the YouTube vertical and YouTube horizontal. Twitch, it didn't allow me to do to do Twitch vertical for some weird reason. It didn't want me to stream both at the same time. But yeah, just checking both of them. But yeah, everything's looking good so far. But yeah, I would love to play Hollow Knight. But yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get through it. I know it's going to. But yeah, so I feel that, so going back to Stardew, I think that a moth that is the brightest light it can find is angry because the worm stopped insects from worshiping and tries to control them, but a random rhino beetle comes into place and murders them. Hollow Knight lore in a nutshell. Some of them are easy to explain. Some of them, they require like a whole video essay. We all know which one requires several video essays. But yeah, so I feel plot point wise, Jeffrey lore can turn out to be true later on. Another one that I feel could be another plot point, Haley has to buy us clothes. I feel Haley buys us clothes and Emily helps. Like, Haley goes shopping with us. Goes shopping with us. Goes shopping with us. I feel that's a big plot point for the main character. That Haley goes shopping with us. Another one though is, I feel, who's the one that like sews? I think it's Emily or Caroline. One of them. I don't remember which one has a sewing room. I think it might be Caroline, but I also think it might be Emily. I'm just gonna say it's Caroline. Caroline. Makes us makes MC a. I feel it has to be a dress for the flower party. Flower dance. There you go. I feel Caroline makes us a dress for the flower dance because that feels right that there should be something like that. I think that there has to be like interactions with each of the characters where we have a moment with Haley, we have a moment with Caroline, we have a moment with Emily, we have a moment with Penny, all of them. All the love interests. Because we want it to kind of have a vibe of like a dating sim, just the joke. Leah. I think, yeah, maybe it's Leah. Maybe it's Leah. It makes sense if it's Leah. You know what? Let's change it to Leah. Living Leah. Because I think Caroline's the one where we smoke weed with. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah. I feel like, because part of this is we gotta infuse also their relationship events. So I feel that Haley goes shopping with us only because we help her. We find her in the mines. Yes, we find her in the mines, and this goes with her cutscene. Her cutscene is we find her in the mines, and she wants to be an adventurer. She wants to go in the mines, but she gets scared. And I think that that's something that's important. So, okay. Haley wants to be an adventurer. Wants to be an adventurer. Haley wants to be an adventurer. That is a plot line. It's in her cutscene. It makes sense. Let me see. What is another one? We know we get Penny a house at some point. So I feel like she doesn't end up being our love interest. Penny can't be our love interest because we end up buying her a house to help her out. Friend, possibly. I don't know where. That's the thing. That's the beauty of writing it, is that I don't know myself who I'm gonna lean towards in terms of like who's gonna be the romantic lead of the whole thing. I feel like they're all gonna be dating us as the joke of how Stardew works. You end up dating all of them and giving them gifts and stuff like that, and that's your love language, is gift giving, right? And that's the joke. That's the common joke. Like, our love language is gift giving. No one understands why that is. It just is. And I feel that we're going to start them all out where we have started them in the places of how a romance anime would, where we have an episode per character introduction, or 2 characters per episode, Because something I appreciate about Hazbin Hotel and Hello Boss that does it right is that when they introduce their characters, they introduce their foil at the same time. So whoever is their like enemy, like who is their arch rival, that they introduce them together. And I do appreciate that. So I feel that both of them work. We would do something like that where we would introduce those two, we would introduce Haley, but we would have to introduce Haley with someone that she doesn't like in a way. Like they're diametrically opposed, something like that. We'll all set them up for a romance. But then by the end of the series, we will figure out which one will be the end. The one canon thing, though, is whoever ends up being our love interest does lose their dream. That is a core thing that happens in Stardew. Whoever you choose doesn't live their dream. So, let's say you choose Sebastian. Sebastian never becomes a rock artist. He just stays home. So, whoever we choose, we're crushing their dreams. Just know that. That's gonna happen. That's in the lore of Stardew. So we have to abide by it. So if we do Sebastian, Sebastian's like something has to happen to where Sebastian's not able to do it. Small price to pay. Yeah, it is. It's a small price to pay when you got a billionaire, because you end up being a billionaire in Stardew. So at the end of the day, they're basically end up being sugar babies. In a sense, they become sugar babies. Because you're so rich at some point that they're just getting gifts from you, and they're getting like all they have to do is just provide children. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the joke. We end up, treating them like sugar babies. All right. So Haley wants to be an adventurer because that was in her cutscene. See, Jody, I feel she is trying to set us up with someone. I feel it's either Jody or Robin. Jody or Robin are trying to set us up with someone. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I hear in the back of my mind, right, Robin in my Robin voice being like, "Are you sure that this upgrade is not just for you to have a home and is more for selling this farm? Are you sure? Are you sure it's that? Cause I've been seeing you been getting close with this person. Something like that. Like I feel like something like that happens, and I think that it would be something weird. It's something to do that makes sense for like Robin's character particularly. I don't know why it makes sense for Robin's character, but I feel like that's how she is, and I think that would make a lot of sense, right? Like I feel we get close with Robin because we become friends with Robin because she's upgrading our house for us and upgrading our buildings. Robin is trying to set us up. Ben is trying to play match maker. I feel that that's right. Like, I feel like she's trying to scheme to get us with, like, Marnie or get us with, like, Sebastian. And then another thing is that there could be a scene with us and Sebastian where Demetrius doesn't talk to Sebastian in the entire game. Doesn't mention him, doesn't acknowledge him. And I feel that could be a point to, like, connect with the farmer and Sebastian, if you know what I mean. Like, Sebastian and the farmer, they bond over the fact that his father doesn't love him. Like, I know it's messed up, but I think that would be, like, a good, like, sounding off point. Considering, like, he's very to himself. Like, that could be a good connection point. So, Sebastian and MC bond over Demetrius not ignoring his existence. Ignoring his existence. Okay. But yeah, so I feel that MC and Sebastian can bond over that because MC's father got the milk. So that's a good bonding moment between them. What else? I feel that so Robin tries to play matchmaker. Haley wants to be an adventurer. Sebastian and MC bond over Demetrius. Let me see. We could go into detail about the illegitimate child arc. Because there's one, the wizard has a child with one of the villagers. But no one knows which. Some think it's Abigail. Some think it's Emily. And others think it's Caroline. And and some of them, there's a camp that also thinks it might be Sebastian as well. But I think that could be a mystery for, like, season 2. Like, a season 2 mystery. Figure out who's the illegitimate child. Like, I feel that is a mystery in itself. You know, okay. Who is the father? Who is the father? No, it's his name's the Wizard. Wizard edition. Wizard Edition. So yeah, so we've got to figure out who's the father, who's the kid, who's the child, who's the child, so who's the child, Wizard Edition. We've got to figure it out because I feel that there's some thing. Yes, it is a actual plot point in Stardew that the wizard confesses he has a kid with one of them. He just won't say which. And that's an actual canon thing in Stardew that no one knows whether and there's discourse in the fan community on whether it's Caroline, Abigail, or Emily. Or there's some that are Sebastian stans, because that would make sense for Demetrius to ignore him if he's the illegitimate child. But some of them think that it's like, oh, that like the wizard and the witch got together because they're exes. She's his ex. They got together. They produced a child, didn't want the child, and it could be Emily. Or it could be Abigail because he has the same hair color as Abigail. But the thing is, they could have colored hair. They could have colored their hair. So that could also be it. So, but there's no answer in Stardew for this. Like, they never explain who's the kid. They never explain it. They never go into detail. They just are like, okay, you guys can figure it out. And you're like, okay, I can't figure it out. Please tell me. I want to know who is the child that is like, who's the child that, he's the father of. I need to know, But yeah, that's an actual thing in Stardew. So far, what we've written so far is canon. So I'm right now writing everything that's in the existing canon of Stardew. That way we can know what is existing canon and also what are good headcanons that make sense that don't mess with it. This is the part of writing where it's called planning. You plan it and then you write it. Now, some stories, like how I write most of the time, I don't require planning. I just, I kind of black out, and then all of a sudden I have a whole document, that it entails a whole episode. That happens. But for stuff where I'm thinking about the story, this is how you would go about it. So, I need to get working in Stardew then, because this is very interesting. It is. There's a lot of lore if you look for it. If you're looking for the lore in Stardew, you can get a really, really juicy story. But yeah. But so far, this is canon. And that's why I said major spoilers for Stardew. Okay. Let's see. So who's the child? That's another one. Demetrius ignoring Sebastian. That's another one. What's another plot point in Stardew that's not a main plot point, but a side plot point? Lewis Underwear and his affair with Marnie. Yes, let's do that. So, yeah. So, I feel that is something that happens like year 2. But I don't know where year 2, if year 2 is going to be season 2. I don't know. But I feel like if we were to do years, it would be the last season would be year 3. Last season's year 3, or last season's year 4, like something like that. Marnie is sleeping with Mayor, not a J, a Y, Lewis. Is sleeping up with Mayor Lewis. So yeah, Marnie is sleeping with Mayor Lewis. That's a plot point. But so, and he's also embezzling. That's another thing. We also have to do his embezzlement scheme. So yes, Mayor Lewis embezzlement scheme. Embezzlement scheme. So yes, Mayor Lewis's embezzlement scheme that he does, and doesn't hide very well. Let's see, what's another one that's going on as a side story? Lewis is a mystery in himself. Lewis is a mystery in himself because there's some hints to him. Oh, bye, Sans. See you later. But yeah, Lewis is his own mystery. I forgot what's his deal. I forgot what's his deal. He has like a whole thing about him. What's the child? Mayor Lewis's embezzlement scheme. Okay, what is it? What's another one we can add to the list of plot points? Let me see. Another one we can do is Clint stalking. Yes. Clint is a stalker. Is a stalker. Yep. So Clint is a stalker. That's another one, another plot point. Pierre is trying to turn them against you. Pierre is trying to secretly turn Pelican Town against you. Yep. This is not just because of the backpack. It is canon. It is canon. It's not just because I hate him because of the backpack incident. You know, that was a low blow, but he also does this canonically. What else? What else? What's another one? Which one do I feel? Hey, ZG! Ducks. You sent the ducks my way. Yay! But yeah, so let's see. We have Clint's a stalker. Pierre's trying to secretly turn Pelican Town against us. Marnie's sleeping with Mayor Lewis. Lewis has a whole embezzlement scheme. There's a Maury episode with the wizard. Let's see. What is another thing that's going on in Stardew? Let's see. Dwarf history is purposely changed to erase their involvement. But yeah. I'm gonna have a very, very interesting take on Stardew. And the good thing about this is it doesn't have, the planning doesn't have to be complete. Like, if there's something we are missing, we can always add it. And we're going to be playing Stardew anyways, so if there's anything that I missed, we can always add it to the plot of the show. So yeah, dwarf history is purposely changed to erase their involvement. What's another one? That's going on. There's a bunch of sentient animals, but they're never explained why. It's never explained why they're sentient. Let's see. I'm running out of ideas. I'm just like trying to like piece this together. Like, okay, we have that plot line. We have that plot line. Let me think of smaller issues that are not, they're not big in the grand scheme of things, but Kent's PTSD. PTSD. And difficulties returning turning to what was that? Who's he? Hi, Nico Pio. Or Poi. Nico Poi. Hi, welcome. You having a good day? Kent's difficulty returning to civilian life. Civilian life. No. There. There you go. But yeah. Okay, so Kent's PTSD, difficulty returning to civilian life. That is a whole plot line in itself that him and Jody will have to work out, and we're gonna have to save their marriage. I feel. We're gonna have to save their marriage. What else? What's another plot point? Another plot point is that Abigail has an addiction to eating rocks. Like real rocks. Like she has like pica. So, yeah. Abigail is addicted to eating inedible rocks. So I feel like that's another plot point we can do, is helping Abigail get over her pica. Like, she's never gonna get rid of it, but finding, like, healthy solutions. Like, that would be a good plot point. Because it's in the canon. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Nico Boy. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Nico Boy. But yeah, so, yeah, she has a canonical addiction to eating rocks. So, it makes me concerned every time I give her any rocks or any gemstones, because we know she's just scarfing them down in the background. It's a little bad. So I feel that that's another plot point we can do. It's a canonical plot point, but it's like a smaller one that no one notices. What else? What's another one that we can do that would work? It's another plot point. Well, not only is Sebastian getting ignored by its dad, but Sebastian's in a rock band. So, like, in a rock band, I think with like Sam. I think he's in a rock band with Sam. So, Sebastian, punk band, punk rock band, punk rock band. All right. So that's another plot point. Ooh, I'm running out of space. Let me just move all this stuff. we'll add more details to these. But this is us planning a whole series, so this will all matter later. Adding more details to it. Let's see, Robin, Haley wants to be an adventurer, Sebastian an MC. Jeffrey folklore turns out to be true, which is funny. It's not canon, but it also is funny to do it. This is more first episode stuff. So, MC works at Joja Mart. That's canonical. We got the farm from Granddad, but it was sus. Something sus about it. And then we want to sell the farm. That is our motivation. Our initial motivation. Got ghosted. Because we could eventually be like, oh, let's have the ex come to Pelican Town being like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I should have, you know, like, reached out. I know you, like, I, like, fell off the face of the earth, but, like, you're rich. So, can we be buddies? You know, like, something like that happens. Like, it'd be fucked up, but also it would work so well. You see what's going on in the chat? Okay, everything's going good. But yeah. Female MC wears biz casual. There. Jeffrey. Haley goes shopping with us. Mm-hmm. But yeah. There. It's weird looking at all these plot points and being like, yep, these are all the plot points that we're going to be doing in this show. All these topics. There, let me grab Sebastian. Note to self, I definitely have to, like, next time, I gotta prepare, like, Stardew music or some shit like that. So that way you guys can listen to, like, something while I'm talking. Because I'm like, it's probably boring, the fact that I'm, like, talking and there's nothing in the background. It's just, like, me speaking. Something like that. I don't know. Is what it is. But, yeah. At least now we know for the future. And they just perfectly click together. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. All right. Can I just... No. Okay. Well, yes. Yes, I can. Ha ha ha. Wonderful. Oh, I forgot. Some of them are not going to get highlighted. Okay. All right. So now we have more room for any canon. Any existing canon that we need to add. So, okay. So, what's the other plot points that we know are part of Stardew? What's another plot point we can do? I think that... Well, Jojo Mart has... We're gonna do the canonical ending of Jojo Mart gets demolished. Jojo Mart is replaced with a movie theater. With a movie theater. We are going to go with the canonical ending of that. I also plan to do the 21-point ending of Stardew, which is if you do everything right in the first 3 years. I feel. That's right. Let's see. What are other things that we can add that would improve this stream, improve this series a lot? Because we definitely want to give, like, a vibe to it. Let's see. Let me check how you guys are doing over here. 5 people. Not bad. Not bad on the YouTube side. Let me check on the vertical side. 2 people over here. We love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Check. I'm just checking on all of them because I don't want to be in the situation where, like, this is running and I'm, like, not even seeing. You know? Like, I want to make sure everything's, like, perfect for you guys. Let me see. Okay. So, let's see. And get back to Final Draft. For those of you who are wondering, the software I'm using is Final Draft. You don't, like, for script writing, I don't suggest getting it. And it's not that it's bad. Final Draft is amazing. What? Who threw? Oh, Zuchi. Yeah, I kind of messed up on the sizing. They're still marbles. But yeah, basically, I don't suggest Final Draft if you're ever gonna use a writing software. I suggest using like Celtics or Writer's Duet because unless you're writing like a script every single day, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. I personally, the only reason why I have this is I write so often that it makes sense for me to keep it. But if you do intend to eventually get like a Final Draft or anything like that, like my best suggestion, get a license. Don't buy the subscription. The subscription shit. Get the fucking license. Buy it. It's a lot more money. I'm not gonna lie. It's like $500. Like, I bought mine on Black Friday, but it was still expensive. But I highly suggest it if you are someone that writes often. Because Final Draft has everything you need. The only thing, like, and when you buy the license, it doesn't mean that you're stuck with only that version. You're stuck with the version that you got. But on top of that, even though you're stuck with the version you got, you could pay like $60-something and upgrade at any time. So for me, like this new upgrade that just came out, I haven't bought it because it's not worth my time. I don't see the point, because since it's like, you know, it all it's adding is like, oh yeah, here's the stats of how much word count I'm doing. And here's the stats on how many pages per minute. You know, that's shit you don't need to know. Like, it's nice, but I don't need to know. I would like a midnight mode. I'd like a midnight mode. I really, really would like it did add like a feature of, oh yeah, you can write on the go, but it's so cumbersome to use the fucking app, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to use the app to script write on your phone. It's like not worth it. But for some people it might be worth it. Personally, I'm waiting for an like maybe 2 or 3 more updates, and then I'm planning on paying to upgrade, because at that point then it will make sense. It paid in girl math, it paid itself off technically. You know? It paid off the worth of it. You know? That's my idea. In girl math. Girl math sometimes doesn't make sense, but it does make sense in my mind. But yeah, so in about like 2, 3 more upgrades, then I'll buy it, and then it'll be like getting like a deep discount. You know? You're getting it for like half of the price, technically. Yeah, girl math. But yeah, so one of the plot points, Jojo Mart is replaced with a movie theater. We know that. That's canonical. What else? I don't remember if Krobus ever finds out that we kill his family. Does he know that we're just killing void spirits left and right? Like, I don't remember. I don't know if he hates us. He must know, though, because he knows, like, his favorite food is void mayonnaise. Like, void mayonnaise, and, like, he's got a particular taste. I don't know. And he sells void essence. So maybe he's giving us void essence, or maybe he's killing off his family. I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish. I got so many questions for Krobus. Like, what the hell? Ginger Island. Yeah, that's another plot point. That's gonna be a plot point for, like, season 2. Ginger Island. Ginger Island has to be a plot point. Ginger Island is a plot point. I feel that the boy, Bird Boy, finds family, finds his family. Bird Boy finds his family. That's a plot point. I feel. Bird Boy is a plot point. He's a canonical plot point. And I feel like we need to do him. We need to do his plot point. Like season 2. Bird Boy season 2. Ginger Island season 2. Archaeology. What's another one? Let's see. I'm trying to come up with any other. I'm trying to remember if there's any other plot points that, like, stuck out to me. We already have, like, an abundance of, like, plot points already. Like, a good amount. But this is, like, very surface level. Like, this is, like, arcs, but it's not exactly, like, we haven't gotten, like, to the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. Like, once we get all this together, we can find the main... What is Stardew as a story? What is the main mystery of Stardew? What are we trying to solve and understand? What is the mystery we're trying to uncover? Like, I'm trying to figure that out for myself. What is the mystery behind Stardew? Other than just these tiny season-long and episodic-long, like, arcs. What is the main gigantic arc that we're working towards? Which is the question. I wonder. But, I don't know. You guys got any ideas? Any canonical plot points you guys know? Is there any cutscenes that come to mind that happen in Stardew? Is there any cutscenes? See. Nah. You guys are as stumped as I. You are doing good. Let's see. Let me check on the other end. This one's doing well as well. I think this is where we cut it off for today. I think we cut it off for today here. Because I think that we've got a good basis. I think there's more that we need to discover about, like, to plan it properly. And so far we have good plot points, but we don't have yet the meat and potatoes of what Stardew is. And we gotta flesh out. Once we do this, we gotta flesh it out. Yeah. I gotta go. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner. I am starving. And I have a headache. From having this, like, rig, like, mess up so many times that my frustration has culminated in a headache. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream for today. Thank you so much, guys, for coming, watching, and collaborating. We will be doing another writing stream on Friday. We'll see what that one's going to be. I don't know. And yeah, we're gonna be doing that and we're also gonna be playing Stardew tomorrow. Oh, hi, Noob Strike. Welcome. But yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna be doing Stardew tomorrow. We're gonna be playing the game, not writing, playing the game. So maybe we can, because I do plan to do tomorrow is we gotta go and talk with the villagers so that way we can kind of get more of an information. You want to play you want me to play Minecraft? The problem is, right, I can add it to, like, my voter recommendation, like, my voter's choice, because I do have a thing where you guys can play Minecraft, have me play Minecraft or have me play Hollow Knight or something like that. So I put it on a list of stuff that you guys get to choose, and at the end of the month, you guys get to go and vote on what game I get to play, so I could put it on my list. Definitely. Just not playing that for today. But yeah, but basically, we'll try to do tomorrow is talk with a bunch of villagers, try to get their stories, try to get like what is the general feel of the villagers of how they treat us in the beginning. That way we can write down their responses and have a recorded idea of their responses so we can kind of get a better idea of what story to write for them. Because I need a better consensus and I need to find more cutscenes before I can feel good about writing the first episode. I feel that I'm missing a lot of detail. There's a lot of details I'm missing. But yeah, I think this is where we're going to end for today. And I hope you guys have had a wonderful time and have a wonderful day, you guys.